This is a homemade disclosure to let you know that don't take my personal raw feelings and emotions and literally what happened. Please don't take it for being ungrateful or anything like that. I love the opportunity to work my job. I'm grateful that God blessed me with the opportunity. So I just got to make sure that that's in here as well. Hey, I'm really getting right to it. I'm live, right? I'm just getting off work. This is going to be about my first day back. It didn't go as expected, or really did, because I really wanted it to be close to perfect. And it was almost like I got right back off right. It left off right. I got back right where I left off. And I'm sorry, I'm just so irritated because I'm pretty sure it's one of my coworkers. I'm getting out. One thing I don't like is when I'm driving, I'm getting over somebody because you just think you got the fastest car, or because you're willing to exert enough gas or acceleration. Here you go, right here. I'm about to show them, look, because they got so much gas, right? They just gotta be first. Look, you just gotta be first. You got to look. You just got, like, where is you going? Where is you going? We all going to the same place. And this is why I gotta calm myself down, because it's not worth it. But they almost got into the back of me, and they boom, like blowing, laying down the horn like you in the right. You not in the right, because you in a rush. You about to hit me from the back. Wait, or go around the other way. Don't undercut me from the back. That's one of the things that when I'm driving, that gets on my nerves. But back to work. So I made it back. All in all, I just really feel like, especially how it started and how it ended on me, still kind of being confrontational. The last thing with one of my old, I don't want to say old, but it's my boy, it's whatever, it's business now, so it ain't really no more friends, anymore in a sense. But we kind of had a back and forth, and at the end of the day, like he said, he's trying to help me, and I just had to be patient, right? And just because I don't agree with the way and the method in which, like, he helped me, I literally told him, like, I wasn't asking you for all that. I just want the meat and potatoes. And that's kind of how I am in life. Like, I want the help, but sometimes I'm not willing to sit and listen thoroughly to the person who's helping me, right? They helping me. How am I, I just gotta sit and listen. But that's how I know that I need to practice on listening. I know I had to do a better job at listening. So that's that. And I always just, I fall on the sword nowadays and figure out how I can improve myself, because I can't change the next man, right? I can only change and improve how I react to things and how I handle things. But as soon as I had got to work, though, it was like I got hit with a ton of micromanaging, like a ton of it. And I kind of got to snapping a little bit, because I'm like, hold on. I know you did not have me come back thinking that you're going to be acting like this. Like, we're going to be micromanaging, and you're going to use this as an excuse or a way to, like, make things even worse for me than what it was before. Absolutely not. And the thing that kind of teed me off, right, I was real respectful, right? I even asked, like, hey, do you want to take this conversation off the floor? Because I know how I am. I get animated. I'm very passionate. At first, he was like, nah. And then it was like, oh, okay, yeah, let's take this off the floor. I'm like, yeah, bet it up. As soon as we get to the little office, it's just basically like a little room. Like, it's just a room that with a closed door, basically. They call it, like, huddle rooms. So we get off the floor and we get into this huddle room. As soon as I sit down, he's already sat down because he was in front of me, I believe. But either way, as soon as we both seated, he decides to get the raising his voice at me and yell at me. Now, mind you, me and this man have a relationship ongoing for at least 2 years, over 2 years now. So I'm not saying that everything that I do is right or wrong. I'm not here for that part of it, but just understand that if you poke the bear, you know what you're going to get situation. And mind you, this is his first time he ever raised his voice / yelled at me. So this is just mind blowing. Like, I'm gone because I'm really going through a lot of stuff and potentially may not even be returning back to this job. And you know that I'm going through a lot of stuff. And then you want to try to get the yelling at me for the first time? it was like, it almost caught me off guard. But I'm like, oh, okay, this what we doing now. You know, we turned up. And, you know, it didn't take long for him to, hey Dom, can you bring it down? Like, basically, can you stop yelling at me? It's like, you know, oh, you the one who got off on that. You came with that energy. And he know he did. So I was like, you know what? Because like I said, I'm here. It's business. We not even here for none of that. We don't even need to be, and there don't even need to be too much emotions in this, right? But you're not liking what I'm saying to you. Sorry. So I continue to go on what happened. So I'm like, all right, don't worry about it. I'm gonna just take a little lap. I had this. I was like, I'm gonna take a little lap, drink some water, you know, cool down. He was like, all right, no problem. Boom, did that. I'm a fast walker. I say it took me less than 10, 15 seconds, you know? Either way, less than a minute, less than 30 for sure. Point is, I get back in there and he like flagging me off, basically saying like, oh, I'm on the phone now. Like I gotta leave out. I'm like, I gotta leave out the room. And he was like, yeah. And I've spoken to our HR channels enough and made those calls to the help desk or whatever, however you want to call it, like the 1-800 number for the company, to know that it's Chafers, to know for the company that that's what he did. So I don't know if it was on me. I mean, we ended up smoothing it out like we always do. If it was about me, you know, I gotta pray for him. I gotta pray for him, right? And because he's a human just like me, he goes through things just like me. And like I was telling my brother, I could potentially be hard to handle sometimes. I am a top performer. Glory to God. You know, I'm a top performer. So I know like he deals a lot, or there's like a little more rope, at least it used to. Now me coming back, it sounded like he was trying to take all the little rope and wiggle room away from me. And that's how we had to communicate again. And it's like he did, but then he gave it back to me too. Cause I told him, I'm very honest. I get right to it. I'm like, so you tripping over this hour? Cause basically what it was is he got on me because I was an hour late to work. Not really, right? There's no more overtime at this job, like a zero policy for overtime, right? So what I did was I had needed to handle stuff over the phone where it ended up putting me over an extra 3 hours, right? So that was gonna be overtime. So he messaged me saying like, you gotta leave early the next 3 days. I'm like, all right, cool. He wants me to leave early at the end of the shift. I basically today woke up and went into work an hour late in the morning, and I'm just gonna flex it that way. And he wanted to make the hugest deal about it, like, oh, well, why weren't you here? And why didn't you tell me? You gotta tell me at least 24 hours before. And just all these rules, right, that are like his rules are like, that's the best way. But at the end of the day, I have I've been working this job. He's been cool. Other things like me having to be on camera. It was like a buildup of like all these little petty things since I've returned back to work that he's like making me do now that he never did before. And I'm basically like, yo, is this what we doing now? Like, are you trying to give me a hard time on purpose? Or is it your boss's boss like brought it down to where we all have to follow and do these rules now? Or are you just being petty with Dom? And I know he was just basically trying to be petty with me, and I'm gonna squash that. So I'm pretty sure we did squash that. I would love to be able to go about it a different way without any of the roo rah, but it's unfortunate, like over the phones and a lot in life, it's like they say that you get more with honey, with sugar and honey and sweet things instead of the sour things, but there's other situations to where you do have to like put your foot down, and I'm always having to put all my feet down in the sand, and I didn't want to. But yeah, that's how my first day back was.